Both Samsung and Sony know how to make excellent Android handsets, but which company offers the best mid-range blower? We're putting two of their finest examples, the Sony Xperia M4 Aqua and the Samsung Galaxy A3, head-to-head to see which is the most worthy of your hard-earned cash. Sony and Samsung have taken radically different approaches with their design. With the M4 Aqua, Sony's gone for a shiny plastic finish, either black or white, plus a 5-inch screen and made it totally water resistant, so you can drop it in the bath, sea, or toilet without destroying it. Samsung, meanwhile, offer the A3 with a 4.5-inch screen and white, grey, or gold bodies finished in slightly more upmarket metal. The A3 lacks waterproofing, but it is lighter, easier to put in your pocket, and simpler to use one-handed. Picking between the two is tough. The Samsung looks a touch more upmarket, but the Sony still looks fantastic. Its only downside being the fact it gets smudged with fingerprints very easily. The Sony Xperia M4 Aqua has the larger screen, 5 inches versus 4.5. It also has a superior resolution, 720 HD versus QHD on the Samsung, so it's pushing roughly twice as many pixels. As a result, the Sony is by far the better phone for watching movies on or viewing pictures, whether by yourself or sharing snaps in a group of friends. We're not saying the Galaxy A3 screen is bad, far from it. Its AMOLED technology helps provide excellent contrast, and its smallish panel means it offers a respectable pixel density, but the Sony definitely wins this fight. The Samsung Galaxy A3 gets its own back with built-in storage space. It packs a total of 16 gigs, although only about 12 of this is actually usable. You can also expand it by an additional 64 gigs if you have a micro SD card. The Sony, by comparison, has only 8 gigs of space, so you'll be turning to its micro SD card slot sooner rather than later. The Sony is the faster handset of the pair. It uses a 64 gig octa-core Snapdragon 615 processor paired with 2 gigs of RAM, so it runs buttery smooth whether you're browsing the operating system or running 3D games. The Samsung Galaxy A3 uses a quad-core chip, in this case a Snapdragon 410, and has half the RAM. Don't get too worried though, because the A3 is still more than capable of running 3D games like Asphalt 8 like a dream. That said, the Sony is the more future-proof of the two phones. As newer, more demanding apps and games are released, it's likely to be able to handle them without slowing down. The upshot of the Samsung Galaxy A3's slower processor is longer battery life. We managed to hit critical after an impressive 8 hours of continuous video playback, while general usage should see you through up to 2 days at a time with LTE switched on. The Sony Xperia M4 Aqua, meanwhile, runs for around 5 hours during non-stop media playback, and a day to a day and a half of normal use is realistic. The Sony Xperia M4 Aqua wins the camera fight too. Its 13 megapixel snapper eclipses the 8 megapixel sensor on the Samsung, helping it produce shots that are more detailed. Great for anyone that wants to print their photos or crop in on their shots without losing quality. The Samsung Galaxy A3's camera does a solid job picking up color and handling high contrast environments, but artificial and low light shots suffer from poor detail, inaccurate colors, and noise. Both phones have a 5 megapixel user-facing camera, so offer similar selfie capabilities. Both phones retail for around the £200 mark right now, and both offer good value for money. The Samsung has a great physical design, meaning it does a passable impression of a premium handset, has a decent amount of storage and great battery life. The Sony, meanwhile, is better in almost every respect. It has a larger screen, superior resolution, a better processor, more RAM, a better camera, and it's waterproof. If you're looking for a phone that stands out from the crowd of plastic Android handsets on the market, then the Samsung might be your best bet, but there's no denying the fact the Sony, with its superior specs, is better value for money.